the weight of the red numbers is probably going to outnumber the value of these little pluses of us satisfying our little contrived, individual, completely dependent on geographic circumstance of birth in time and space, what you will or will not desire, programming that's completely arbitrary and nonsensical and is glorified by religion.
Around what happens, where you come from, to do with purpose, and all that stuff is just gone. Thousands of years
Of a lie, of a stupid, retarded lie, of a square fucking wheel. How does a square wheel, how is that vital? Retaining the square wheel, would that be vital to our progressing through through history? It would be idiotic if we kept something that stupid and refused to change it, refused to modify that fucking premise of our technical advancement. There wouldn't be any clock. There wouldn't be any this. There wouldn't. We can make a list fucking 10 miles long of all the things that couldn't happen because we insisted on square wheels.
Admittedly, largely bullshit, but poetic and interesting, and to some people comforting discourse just becomes unavailable.
Yeah, well, poetic, interesting, and comforting are not really words that should have much meaning in a conversation about the truth. I mean, is it interesting as it's for its truth value? Is it comforting because it seems to get us closer to something that is the truth? What the fuck do those words describing this blight on human intelligence? I mean, it's just, why don't we just put maggots in fucking tutus and call it ballet?
Because you shut the gate on that concept. So I don't think atheism is a gateway concept. I think it's the opposite. I think it's the rolling of the stone across that particular rope.
Well, why don't you say the filling of the pit of doom? I mean, that's what it is. It's rolling a stone into the pit of doom and filling it so we can't fall in it again. So the stupid spikes can't shoot through our brain and destroy our capacity to think and be rational and be intelligent. We're no longer stifled. It's like it's taking the lead out of our blood. I mean, I mean, there's a million metaphors, but it has nothing to do about rolling a stone over some valuable gate. It has to do with blocking, putting a plug in the dike that's going to break. It has to do with saving our intelligence from a fester, not fucking denying us some grand opportunity to be fucktarded and chase little fuzzy balloons or something.
So in terms of the strategy, I think for atheism to be more of a force in the world, I think yes, it does need to do that, and I think what is sometimes called a new atheist.
Yeah, right. So you're saying that somehow it has to be premised on lies and bullshit. If you don't put the bullshit in, people won't drink it. So a spoonful of sugar, blah 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 blah. And I would argue that fine, you can say it in a nice way. You can call people an asshole in a nice way. It can be done. It's not impossible. But if you're going to break the structure of it, if you're going to sit there and say it's no longer, E equals MC squared, we're going to say it's E equals MC squared divided by Santa Claus times Rudolph. Well, that's not going to fucking work because now you've broken the fucking truth.
Hawkins and Hitchens, and to a certain extent Harris and Lenin and others. I mean, I think they've been very, very successful at shutting the gate, you know what I mean, at slamming the fucking door, rolling the big stone across the tube, doing that stuff, which I think has been brilliant.
Yeah, to a point. I mean, but it's... Well, okay, go ahead.
They're perhaps less good at, and which perhaps Carl Sagan was better at, is the other thing, which is about introducing gateway concepts, which are easily available because a lot of scientific ideas aren't easy.
Yeah, well, look, Carl Sagan even failed. I mean, when you come down to the bottom line, the human race didn't become a more dignified, graceful thing. We became more plastic and greedy and selfish and disgusting and debaucherous. If you look at what the human race is before Sagan and after Sagan, obviously I don't blame him for it, but Ronald Reagan, George Bush, Come on, this is not much of an accomplishment.
Gateway concepts which open up a terrain where it becomes possible to talk about morals, it becomes possible to talk about purpose, what happens after you die, where you come
Oh
from.
yeah, no, you can't do any of that unless you have a god. That's right. You have to come up with some kind of unicorn. If you don't have unicorn shit, you can't build any of those ideas because they can only be built out of unicorn shit. You can't talk about dying. No. You can't figure out that it's part of the biological process and it's imposed on us only because that's the only way reproduction on an island can work. On an island called Earth, on an island, you can't just keep reproducing. There's got to be a limit on the reproduction. If there's going to be room for the new generation, the old generation's got to get the fuck out of the way.
Why is something or nothing? All those, troubling, let's say, philosophical questions.
Oh yeah, and what does Carl Sagan do with those? What does he do with the question of something or nothing? What does religion do with the question of something or nothing? Absolutely nothing. It invents a God that always existed, that never needed a creator. So it's too complicated for us to think about natural selection and evolution and the Big Bang. Makes much more sense to say the most intelligent thing, the most complex thing in the universe just poofed into fucking existence. It didn't need a cause to be its effect. No, it was free of all those fetters, and it could exist not only for now, but forever, whatever that fucking means.
What else become available to you to talk about? I don't know. What are the solutions? I mean, philosophical theology. You know, people like Tillich and Buber and some of James Carse, to a certain extent Karen Armstrong. People who are philosophical theologians who don't believe the literal truth of those.
L. Ron Hubbard. Yeah, okay, great. Let's go find some science fiction babbly bibbly bobbly nonsense. Let's just make up a bullshit story, come up with some other explanation for what the fuck's going on. Hey, might as well just pray to crop circles, right? Well, let's not pay attention to the evidence that it's all bullshit and a lie. No, we'll just sit there and we'll pray to it, and that'll solve our problem.
Poetic texts, but see them as what they are, I think, which is kind of mythology and point. You know, I've still got quite a bit of time for those kind of ideas myself. Not because...
Yeah, right. Well, what you entertain yourself with is your business. But to argue that you got time for it as an intellectual, that there's some value to be gleaned from this gobbledygook, this ambiguous, nonsensical, mushy ideas. Like, put some fog. We need to fog up the atmosphere because we don't want to pay attention to consumption and reproduction as a gateway concept. We don't want to pay attention to natural selection as a gateway concept. We don't want to pay attention to dinonucleic acid as a gateway concept. No, we want to sit there and have something fuzzy that looks sort of friendly and isn't so without respect and appreciation for the wonderful 7 ingredients in our special sauce.
They're true, but because they keep the door open. But it isn't the door onto an kind of explanatory framework that competes with science. It's more like an art explanation. Very, very simple.
Yeah, right. Santa Claus is kind of artsy. Yeah, I mean, it's just bullshit. So yeah, let's just inject some bullshit. Let's inject some lies, and somehow that's going to get us to the truth. Lies are the road to the truth. Lies are the gateway to the truth.
Various art. I can kind of go along with that to a certain extent. But unfortunately, of course, if you're of the Dawkins and Hitchens and that kind of school of anti-theism, then that door is also closed.
Yeah, if you've realized it's a round Earth, that's right. You just can't go back to flat Earth fables. They just sound way too silly. Oh, you mean we're going to fall off the end of the Earth? Yeah, you're just not going to worry about that. You're going to get in your boat and you're going to fly it out in the water and you're going to say, I know there's water ahead, okay, because I'm smart. I'm not an asshole. I'm not an idiot. And somehow you're saying that encumbers us. To realize the truth, to accept the truth, is the liability. The lie That's what we need. We need to invest in the lies.
Because that's considered to be providing cover for more literal versions of theological belief. I don't know which side of the fence I fall on that, really. I can see the argument.
Well, your video seems to suggest which side of the fence you're sitting on. I mean, it was written all over it. You're calling religion a gateway concept. You're implying that it serves some useful purpose in our fucking history, that it did humanity some fucking good, that it wasn't an encumbrance to scientific advance and progress, that it didn't stifle progressive ideas, that it didn't completely, annihilate our ability to recognize the simplest truths about the trap we were existing in and the harm we were capable of doing, because we could all blame it on God. God has a plan. We can justify it all. We can justify anything. It's all acceptable because God is